In this video, we'll be discussing the experiment on temperature variation of the resistance of a conductor. So, we'll be looking at how the temperature of the conductor affects the resistance that it offers to a circuit. Along with that, we'll be finding this thing called the temperature coefficient of resistance and also the conductivity of the conductor. So, there are three formulas in this experiment. The first two are to find alpha, which is the temperature coefficient of resistance. So that temperature coefficient is basically, it's a measure of, it's an indicator of how the temperature changes the resistance. So if this alpha is positive, it means that the temperature increasing leads to an increase in resistance, which is what happens in your conductors. But if your alpha is negative, it means that with increase in temperature, your resistance is decreasing. And this is seen in semiconductors. So these are the two formulas for alpha. And alpha is in per degree Celsius. That's the unit of alpha. Then the second thing you'll be finding is conductivity of the metal, which is a measure of how the ability of the metal to conduct current. And that is given by sigma equals L by Ra in ohm meters.
Let's set up the circuit for temperature variation of resistance. So this is very similar to the setup for the experiment where we were measuring conductivity of semiconductor. It's the same setup. So you have a meter bridge, and you have the first step is to connect the power supply across the ends of the meter bridge. So this is the power supply. The positive goes to positive of the meter bridge, the negative goes to negative, and then from the positive we go to the left hand side terminal, where you'll be connecting this calorimeter, which is our resistance coil. So the positive of the resistance coil comes to the positive of this circuit from the battery, and the negative of the resistance coil comes to the negative. That's very simple. Then you have the galvanometer connected at the center. So the negative of the galvanometer comes to this terminal in the center, and the positive of the galvanometer is connected to the jockey, which we'll be using to find the balancing length. And then the next terminal on the right side, the positive will be connected to the resistance box. Other end of the resistance box will be connected to the negative that goes to the battery. So for taking the readings, at first you have to look for the readings for room temperature, which is how we'll be finding R naught. So room temperature will be when you submerge the coil in water that's at room temperature, you check the reading, should be around 25 degrees Celsius. You note that down, and you take out a standard resistance of 10 ohms, 20 ohms and 30 ohms on the resistance box. So I'll take out 10 first, and we have to switch this on, and basically you have to find the balancing length. So before starting that, you should check if the deflection on the left hand side is to the right and the other side is to the left. And when that is confirmed, you know that your circuit is properly set up and you can find your balancing length. So we start from one end and observe the deflection. So we have 0 on the galvanometer at 17.5 centimeters. So for 10 ohms, that will be your reading. Again, it's different for different apparatus and different resistance coils. So that was for 10 ohms. We repeat the same process by taking out 20 and 30 ohms from the resistance box, and you find the balancing length in each case and calculate R using this formula, which is S into L by 1 minus L. We do 1 minus L because this is a 1 meter scale, right? So 1 minus L in meters. So you have to convert this to meters and then do the subtraction. Then you use this formula to find your R. Then you find the mean of these three to get your R naught, which was 13 ohms for me. So that was the first step. And the second step would be to find the variation with temperature. So this is the second table. Now you take the standard resistance of, you can take any of these three, but I personally felt 20 ohms is good because it's the mean of the three values. So again, this doesn't have to be the same. This depends on your setup and how you want to take readings. So I will take standard resistance as 20 ohms. And so basically we get hot water in the beaker and start with 85 degrees Celsius on the thermometer, and at 85 degrees Celsius you repeat the same process where you find the balancing length in meters, find the resistance, and then repeat the same for each 5-degree drop in the temperature. And when you have the balancing lengths and R for all of them, you calculate alpha, which is RT, these values, minus R naught, which is what we found, divided by R naught into T, which is the temperature. So that will be your alpha mean in degrees per degree Celsius. So this is in degree Celsius. We do not need to convert it to Kelvin because the alpha is in degree Celsius. That's the unit of your alpha. So that's why we're not converting temperature to kelvins. So this is what you'll be finding, alpha for each of the temperatures. And when you're done with all of them, you find the mean of alpha, which is your theoretical alpha. Now for the graph, you'll be plotting resistance, which was these values that you found using the formula, on the y-axis, and on the x-axis you have temperature in degrees Celsius. Now you'll get a straight line graph from this, and you pick any two arbitrary points on this graph and find the value of t and r at that point. So you have T1 R1 and T2 R2. You pick 2 points, right? And using those values, you can find the graphical alpha or the experimental alpha, which is R2 minus R1 divided by R2 T1 minus R1 T2. So then when you find that alpha, that will be your experimental alpha, which is this. And this was the one that you found from the mean of all the alphas in the table. That is your theoretical alpha. Now to find the conductivity, you have to use the formula sigma equals L by Ra. So conductivity is sigma, and L is the length of the wire, which is 1 meter, and R is the standard R naught which we found here, and A is your cross-sectional area of the wire, which will be given to you. And using this you can
The
find
result
sigma.
is very simple. So the two values of alpha that you found from the first RT minus R naught by R naught T formula, you found the theoretical alpha, which is your first part of the answer. The second part is the graphical or experimental alpha, which is what you found from the graph using R2 minus R1 by R2 T1 minus R1 T2. That is your experimental alpha. And finally you have the conductivity, which is sigma, which we found using L by Ra. So that's all for this experiment.